Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
We want to quickly look at global warming, though we want to narrow it down to Nigeria as it affects Nigeria. But let's start by asking you, give us, first of all, let us understand the concept of global warming.
Okay. Global warming. Global warming is simply the radiation effect directly from the sun onto the earth without the covering of the gas sheet called ozone layer. Ozone layer is actually the gas sheet that is a component of oxygen that covers the air, disaligning the direct intensity of the sun on top of the earth. So by the reason of that, the earth can have light within the earth without the intensity of the sun. So that is the basic concept of global warming. But the effect of global warming in the earth is that when it happens, it causes what we call greenhouse effect. And the greenhouse effect uh, is actually the radiative effect, which increases the temperature conductivity of the environment, and it brings you a lot of diseases around. So actually, what weakened residential within that particular environment. Some of those diseases are what chronic headache and migraine, uh, heat rash, skin diseases, deformation in skin, radiative skin, like effect of skin radiative disease upon the body, which means deterioration of the skin, the top skin, continuously like that. You have a lot of diseases that erupt within that. So that's just the basic concept of global warming.
We understand that there are so many summits that have been done by the world, and each time this is done, Nigeria always register presence. Are you satisfied that Nigeria, as a people, as a government, that we are keeping to the world standard to mitigate the impact of ozone layer on Earth? Uh, I know the depletion of ozone layer, how to prevent it from depleting further.
The basic truth is that Nigeria scientificism has not come to a standard of the global protective operation towards global warming, because most of the things in Nigeria, there is always substandardness because of some polluted mind and corrupted mindset. So that's just the basic truth. That is just a basic truth. Every Nigeria wants to put money to his pocket when he sees that money is coming from a particular arena. But one thing is just that the basic way to actually mitigate against this global warming is reduction of gas flaring, reduction of uh, um, usage of industrial exhaust that actually difference carbon monoxide, especially uh, carbon fumes within the air. All of these things are meant to be checked upon so that it can what, reduce much of gaseous substances in the air, and it will not react with this ozone layer in order to deplete and to reduce global warming by the reason of that.
Okay, let us look at renewable energy. Are we actually going in that direction to address global warming in this part of the world?
That's one of the little things that I think most individuals have come into a civilization of. Basically, renewable energy in the aspect of using the same intensity of sun to be able to revive electrical energy instead of all other
Use of
fossil fuels and all that. From other because there are some generators that are being produced these days that does not need fumes, and electrical vehicles and basic gaseous vehicles who does not actually put up much exhaust into the environment are actually one of the means of reducing this global warming effect on this city. And Nigeria, most individuals are actually doing that. Very soon we will see doing what an industrial for those who are actually in the industrial area of what of producing of cars and generators, etc., etc.
Let us look at the planting of trees. Are we doing enough?
Now, we can remember.
And tell us what trees can do to
Okay.
help prevent the further depletion of ozone layer.
Okay, I can remember in those days of ex-governor Fashola, when trees are being planted, every compound should have one tree being planted. It's just a means of uh, trying to reduce the intensity of global warming, and this is how it does. For every plant that is being planted, plant simply uses any carbonated substances and some other gaseous substances for what for production of food during photosynthesis, and these are the aspect of the chemosynthesis, the chemical component of these gaseous substance that are used for photosynthesis. And when these things are used for photosynthesis, it reduces the gaseous content of what of the environment, because what there is, and within this process, the breakdown of these things will end up releasing what oxygen into the air, and the oxygen will not be breathing oxygen, and what they release CO2, and carbon monoxide plus CO2, all of them when they get mixed to a certain level, they all actually what are used by what plants. So it is
It's a
very
complete
necessary.
ecosystem.
Yeah, so it is actually what a cycling what process which will reduce global warming. So we need to plant more of plants, more of trees, more of this in our environment in order to be able to reduce that also.
Now let us look at the North Pole and water level rising. What do we need to know about North Pole and water level rising as it has to do with global warming?
Now, the North Pole, if you look at the North Pole, most of the countries that are very close to the North Pole are most times cold warming cold weather countries. So when you have water rising level around the North Pole, it's actually uh, the overflow of the water bank, which must have been kept by the icing of the weather. So it definitely, by the reason of global warming, it will definitely what rise, because what the melting of those substances will make the ocean to rise, and it will what cause a lot of disaster. So these are the things that scientifically or scientifically need to be what look into ahead of time. And if it's not looking time, then it can what it can actually destroy houses, do a lot of, because when there's water rising around that area, a lot of structures, facilities are what are brought down by the water.
Now let us narrow it down to Nigeria. Does it mean a place like VI that is very close to the sea is under threat by water level if urgent step is not taken?
Okay. Concerning Nigeria is an equatorial zone country, so there's a little of the effect of the rising of water in place, and especially looking at Lagos, place like VI and all that. So there's a little, but if it rises, it cannot cause so much damage. It will actually also what move back, because there's what we call transpiration. Nigeria is an equatorial zone, so there will always be fast transpiration that will occur in order to reduce the water content of the body compared to those in the north who are in the cold region area.
So generally speaking, what will be your advice to Nigerians on their role to play to help to reduce the depletion of ozone layer?
We should just learn to use um, an alternative source of energy. That is all our advice. Any alternative source of energy that will not what dispense carbon monoxide and other gaseous substances, because most of these gaseous substances they can easily react with oxygen. Oxygen is very uh, is very gaseous friendly and water friendly, hydrogenated friendly. So they can easily react. So we should just use other sources which does not have that, because at the end of the day, if we don't use those things and we keep on using the fossil fuel, the petroleum, whatsoever, it will also we keep on experiencing this thing continuously. So other sorts of energy is available now. We should encourage it, and we should also encourage I encourage the government to actually put resources into all these alternative source of energy also, so that things can work, have a good shape within the environment. We are human beings, and we cannot, not everybody will have the same understanding of what is required to be done at the time.
Now, finally, do you encourage government to do policies to enforce all these things, or they should allow people do it according to their will?
Uh, the Nigerian government looks a bit funny, but the truth is just that the best way to do is to politicize it. They should lay a policy for it. So because when uh, policies are not laid, or when commands are not effected, human beings have the ability to behave anyhow in ignorance. Are you getting it? But when policies are made, people will work, even though they don't understand what they're doing, they will work in that terrain in order to be able to achieve what will help every other person. But we can also be very selfish as humans. Thank you very much.
Now, on a final note, do you encourage individuals, Nigerians, to cultivate the habit of tree planting?
Definitely, definitely.
Thank you very much, engineer. Once for you, engineer. Uh, you, engineer.
Engineer Emmanuel.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.